back to my channel, The Silver Hair Homemaker. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you're at when you're watching this. So in today's video, it's going to be a cook for one video. That can be a little difficult to cook for one when you haven't been doing it as long as I have. So that's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to help you along and give you some ideas and tips and tricks on how to cook for one person and not waste ingredients, not waste your food. We don't like food waste in this house, so we try our best not to waste. And if you're one person and you open a can of something to use, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to use that entire can for whatever it is you're cooking and sit and eat the whole thing. So that's what I'm here for. I'm going to show you how you can take even canned food and make an entirely different dinner out of your ingredients so that you have no food waste. Let's go shop our overflow pantry and get some ingredients for our cook for one dinners that we're going to do. Let's see. Okay, we want some taco shells. Oops. And we want some chili beans. We want some Rotel tomatoes. And let's see, what else do we need? Okay, so these are the 3 items that we shopped for from the overflow pantry. Now we will go to the little small kitchen pantry and see what we need from in there. Okay, these are our items that we're going to use for 2 meals when we cook for one. So we have our taco shells. So you guessed it, we're going to have tacos one night with refried beans and Mexican rice. So we have our lettuce and our shredded cheese and our grape tomatoes that we're going to top our tacos with. The onion will be used in when I brown the ground beef. I like to add onion into mine. And then our second meal is going to be chili for one. So we need half a can of chili beans, some of the Rotel tomatoes, and some hamburger. I don't have the ground beef out here, but we're going to brown up a half a pound of ground beef with a little onion and some seasonings. And we're going to use half of that for the tacos and half for our chili. So it is possible to make chili for one instead of having to make a really large pot of chili. So we're at 8 ounces. There we go. We're at 8 ounces. So that's half a pound of ground beef. And I'm going to get it put in our skillet. Using an iron skillet for this, you can use whatever you'd like. And we'll start getting that browned up. Okay, got that started browning up. We're going to go ahead and add our seasoning in. We're going to do the same seasoning for both recipes until we get ready to put the meal together. So we are going to season our ground beef, and we're going to season it with a little bit of salt, some black pepper. You're going to season to taste. We're going to add a little bit of garlic powder. And a little bit of onion powder. I know we're using onion, but onion powder just adds a different flavor. Get that mixed up in there. add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce in. And we'll let that continue to brown up until it's done. I'm going to take out half of it. Get a spoon for that. We'll take out about half, and we're going to put it in a bowl. That's about half. We're going to use this half for our tacos. The other half is going to be used for our chili. And we'll get that started in just a minute. But for now, we'll focus on the taco meat. We're going to add a little bit of water. Not much, just a little bit. Maybe we'll start with about 1/8 of a cup. Yeah, we'll start with about 1/8 of a cup of water. And to that, we're going to add some taco seasoning. I make my own taco seasoning, but to this, I'm going to add, this is the spoon I'm using, just a regular spoon. And I'm going to add a nice heaping spoon of that. We'll stir that all around, let it get combined. That should be enough for my taste. Use however much you prefer. We're going to leave that on low for just a little bit to let those flavors kind of get mingled. And in the meantime, we'll get our chili started. We're going to take our chili beans. I love the Bush's Best. I grew up on that, and that's just what I prefer to use. You use what you like. But we're going to take about 1/2 of the can of chili beans. I'm going to get as close as we can, because we do need to reserve some of these for our refried beans. We're going to make some refried beans to go with our tacos. So you want the juice from these beans in there. That is going to be about 1/2 a can right there. We'll reserve the other half for later. You're also going to now take some Rotel tomatoes, or if you just want diced tomatoes, that's perfectly fine. But I like the Rotel because it gives it a little bit of a kick that I really like. So we're going to take about 1/2 a can of the Rotels. Juice and all. You want that juice in there so you don't have to add too much water. That should do it. We are going to reserve the other half of the can of Rotel for a completely different recipe. I may throw a little bit of it in our Mexican rice. I'll decide that later. But right now we have about 1/2 a can of chili beans and 1/2 a can of Rotel. Get that stirred around. We're going to get our stove eye turned on. And we're going to take the other half of the ground beef that we browned up. I'm just going to take it like this. And we're going to put it right in our mixture of beans and rotel. Get that stirred around. Okay, at this point it's kind of thick, so we are going to add some water in. We're going to add about a half a cup of water into that. That looks like it's probably about right. If you want less water or more water, then you feel free to put whatever amount you like in yours. I do like a thicker chili, so that to me is just about perfect. Of course, we'll check it periodically while it's cooking, but for now, that's good. We're going to get this chili mixture seasoned up. We're going to start, let's see, what are we going to start with? Let's start with our chili powder. I seasoned to taste, so I'm not going by recipe. If you have a chili seasoning packet, feel free to use that. I am not, because I don't have any. So I am going to be using my own seasonings to make my chili. But if you have a seasoning packet, I would say use about 1/4 of the packet to season your chili for one pot of chili. So I'm going to go in with some chili powder. Just like that. Next, I'm going to go in with some ground cumin. It's not going to focus for me. I think it's too close. There we go. Probably about the same amount of ground cumin as I did chili powder. Then I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder. Just a little bit. I don't want too much of that. And some onion powder. Then we're going to throw in a little bit of oregano, not a lot, just a tad. And a tiny amount of crushed red pepper, because our rotels are already giving the chili just a little bit of a kick, so I don't want too much red pepper, but I do want a little bit. I like my chili spicy, so give it a couple of dashes of that. We're going to mix all that up, get it stirred up, good and combined. Oh, it smells delicious. Get all that stirred around. We're going to get this brought to a boil, and then we will turn the heat down on it and set it where it can simmer. We'll put a lid on it and let that cook for the rest of the day, because this will be eaten tomorrow. I'm making them in the same day, but I love chili that is eaten the day after it was cooked, because all of the flavors get to meld together and it just makes it that much better. So right now, this is all that's to be done with the chili. We'll put our attention back on our tacos. We're going to turn our attention back over here to our taco meat. It is still on low. I'm trying to keep it good and warm. I am going to take just a spoon of the rotel tomatoes that we used in the chili. I'm going to take just a spoon of those, and I'm going to put that in to our taco mixture. We'll see if that's going to be enough. Put that in with our taco meat. I think that'll give it a nice little punch of flavor. We'll be adding some fresh grape tomatoes to the toppings of our taco, but I think that'll be really nice to kind of bulk it up inside and give it a little added flavor. Okay, we've still got a good bit of our rotels left. You can see down in there. I'm going to put these in a container and put them in the refrigerator. and they will be used in a totally different recipe that I'll be doing in my next video. So, okay, our chili is coming to a boil. Nice rolling boil. Ooh, let's back away just a little bit. That looks so good, and it smells delicious. So since it's boiling, we are going to turn the heat down to low, and we're going to pop a lid on that, and we're just going to let that simmer for an hour or so, and then we'll take it off, let it cool, and we'll put it in the refrigerator overnight. So tomorrow, dinner is easy peasy. All we have to do is take our chili out, heat it up, and we're good to go for dinner. Okay, now to get our refried beans going for our taco dinner, I'm taking the other half of the can of chili beans, and I'm going to take a tomato, good grief. I'm going to take a potato masher, and I'm going to mash these chili beans up. I'm going to get them good and mashed, and I'll be back with you. Okay, we're going to get these beans going. We've got our beans that we have mashed up, and we're going to put them in an iron skillet. You can use a pot or any kind of pan that you want to use, but I'm going to use this small iron skillet that I have. We're going to put those right in that pan. You want all that liquid. Those look really nice and mashed up. And now we're going to season these up just a little bit. We're going to use a little garlic powder. I'm not going to add any salt simply because I know that the beans already had salt in them when they were processed and canned. So we're not going to add any salt. We are going to add a little bit of garlic powder. And a little bit of cumin. A little bit of onion powder. Let's see, what else do we need? A little bit of black pepper. I do like black pepper in my food. Put us a little bit of black pepper. Or a lot of black pepper. However you want to do it. And we'll do a little bit of chili powder. That's probably, I think that's all I'm going to use. We'll get that stirred up in there. And we're just going to heat these through because, I mean, the beans are already cooked. It's a can of chili beans, so they're already cooked. But I do want them to thicken up just a little bit more. So we're going to leave them on about a medium heat for the time being. And we'll check on those just a little bit and see where we're at. We're going to get our Mexican rice started. We're just going to take us a small pan, small pot. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil in to that pot. We're going to turn this on about a medium heat. Let that oil start getting hot. When it gets hot, we're going to add in some seasoning and some water. And we're going to be putting some of this in to give it some flavor. I'm also going to be using a little bit of this chicken flavor bouillon. This is the powder, so I can control how much goes in, and I don't need an entire cube. So, And I don't need to open an entire can of chicken broth. I have some homemade chicken broth in the freezer, but I don't need the whole thing for that. So this is what I keep for when I just need a little bit. Okay, I'm going to add a little onion powder to our pot. I'm going to add a little garlic powder in as well. And I'm going to add in a little cumin. I'm also going to add in about a half a teaspoon of our chicken bouillon to the mix. Put that in. I'm going to get that stirred around. Okay, now we're going to add 3/4 cup of water. And to that, I took my consommate, my block, and I cut about 1/4 of it off. We don't need the whole thing, so we're going to use about 1/4 of it. For our rice, we're going to toss that in. And you're not going to throw the other 3/4 away. You're going to wrap that up, and you're going to keep it for your next recipe. And I'll show you in the next video what we're going to do with that. But don't throw it away. That's going to be used with the rest of your can of Rotel that we have. You're going to stir that all together. Let that consommate dissolve. Get it all stirred up. This is what we're looking like right now. And this is going to be a quick Mexican rice because we're going to be using minute rice. We'll get this brought to a boil, and then we'll add our rice in. Okay, our water is boiling for our rice, so we'll get that thrown in. Putting in 3/4 of a cup of rice, minute rice. Use whatever rice you like. Get that all stirred up. And since it's minute rice, we're going to let that come back to a boil. This is what we've got. We're going to pop a lid on it, take it off the heat, and let that sit for about 10 minutes. It says with minute rice 5 minutes. I always let mine sit for 10. I just like it better that way. So I've turned my oven on and set it at 325 degrees. We're going to take some taco shells. I'm just going to take 2 since I am having Mexican rice and refried beans with this. We're just going to do 2 tacos. These are the stand and stuff taco shells. This one's broke, so I'm going to take another one. I'm just going to take 2 of those and I'm going to set them on some foil. The other ones, I'll show you what we're going to do with those. But we're going to take these just like that. You can put them on a pan if you want to. I'm just going to take these. I'm going to set the foil with the taco shells on it into the oven. And I just want to heat them up. You don't have to heat them up if you don't want to. I prefer mine heated. For the taco shells that you have left, this is what I do with mine. You don't have to use the whole box of taco shells at one time just because you've opened them. A lot of people think you have to. You do not. I take mine because they're open and this package is no longer any good. I take just a zippy bag. You can take a plastic storage container, glass storage container, just whatever you want to use. This is just very handy for me. I'm going to take that. I had one that was completely destroyed, so we'll just be munching on that one, I guess. But I'm just going to take them. I even leave the little divider in to keep them from getting crushed. And I'm going to take them and slide them into that zippy bag. Going to get out all the air that we can, seal it up, pop it in the pantry, and just plan on eating tacos, you know, once a week until they're gone. That way you're not wasting a box of taco shells. But even if you're one person, you can still have tacos at home. Okay, let's build our tacos. I've started with, I did put some refried beans, just a little bit in the bottom of each one of my taco shells. That's just how I prefer it. And a spoon. We have our taco meat that I've been keeping heated. Our taco meat that has cooked with onions and has a little bit of rotel in it. So we're going to put some of that in our taco shell. Layer all that goodness in. If you wanted to make really thin tacos, you could probably get 3 out of this. We're getting 2. Then we're going to add a little cheese, a little shredded cheese on. Just a little. I'm going to throw me some shredded lettuce on top of that. And the rest of the bag of lettuce will not go to waste because I will wind up using it on a burger. I'll make a burger bowl, or I don't know, make a salad. But the rest of the lettuce will be used. Throw us a few little grape tomatoes on top. Get them all down in there. This is going to be messy, I already know, so that's okay. I used probably 4 to 6 little grape tomatoes. Of course, we got to add just a little more cheese to the top. And I'm going to add taco seasoning. I like the Taco Bell taco seasoning. I like the medium, but the store didn't have any when I bought this, so I got the mild. That's just my preference on a taco sauce. I'm going to pour a little taco sauce on. Use whatever toppings you have and that you like. And there are our tacos. We'll set these to the side. Got us a little bit of a mess going. That's perfectly fine. Nobody's eating this but me. So now we're going to go in. We're going to take our refried beans. We have those right here. And get those plated up. And our Mexican rice. That looks yummy. It smells really good. So here we have our Mexican dinner for one, and we didn't waste any food. We have 2 tacos, some refried beans made with chili beans, and some Mexican rice made with minute rice. Any of the ingredients that we had left were used to make chili for tomorrow night's dinner, or will be used in a video that will follow this one for another 2 nights of cooking for one. It looks yummy. I am hungry. I haven't eaten today, so I'm about to dive in. Okay, this is the next day. We are putting our chili on. It's been in the refrigerator since yesterday. We're going to put it on to heat it up. And that's going to be our dinner for tonight. Our chili is just about heated through. It's all nice and bubbly and hot. So we're going to get that put in a bowl and call it dinner. Dinner for one. We've got a nice size soup bowl out here, and we're going to get this chili poured in. Look at that. Perfect size bowl of chili for one person. That looks absolutely delicious. You can eat it with crackers. You can eat it with tortilla chips. You can put your little cheese on top. Dress it up however you want to dress it up. But there is how you cook chili for one person. No waste. It's a perfect size amount for one person for dinner. Enjoy! I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I also hope that maybe I helped you in some way to be able to learn how to use your food up in different ways and not get caught in that box of thinking that you have to use it a certain way when you open a can of chili beans or if you open a can of tomatoes. Food can be used in different ways, and we tend to get trapped in doing things a certain way, and we tend to think that we have to do it that way because that's just how it's done. But it's not. Think outside the box and learn how to use things in different ways for different meals so that you're not having any food waste. Food is too expensive these days to be throwing it in the garbage because you didn't eat all of the leftovers, or throwing it in the trash just because you didn't finish it. So I hope you got something out of this video, and I hope that you'll come back and watch the next one. Thanks, y'all.